For teleSUR, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. Venezuela's National Assembly condemns the plans of two far-right opposition activists to launch a series of attacks across the nation. The denunciations come after photos and videos of extremist opposition members Lawrence Saleh and Gabriel Valles were released. The footage reveals paramilitary training and plans to target bridges, shops, and government buildings in the country. Today, the Colombian Senate begins a historic debate discussing the links between the nation's politicians and extrajudicial police forces. Our correspondent Charles Parkinson reports from Bogotá.
Que responde ante las acusaciones en este debate de control político del senador Iván Cepeda. Ya pues entonces al parecer.
At the center of the debate will be former President Álvaro Uribe, though his name for legal reasons may not be mentioned specifically. Uribe's 2002 to 2010 presidency saw a major spike in paramilitary activity in the country until an official demobilization process in 2006, from which the so-called parapolitics scandal emerged, resulting in the investigation of over 100 and imprisonment of more than 60 officials. In Ecuador today, sectors of the trade union movement will take to the streets announcing government policies. Ecuadorian President Rafael Correa questioned the reasons given by opposition leaders for the protests against his administration. Correa claims the march to be a part of a destabilization plan similar to those in Venezuela. Correa is planning to attend a counter-march with supporters in the capital of Quito. Brazilian presidential candidates squared off in the nation's third televised debate last night. Current President Dilma Rousseff focused on her government's record of poverty reduction and investing in social programs. 8 candidates took part in the event, but Dilma Rousseff, Marina Silva, and Aécio Neves received most of the spotlight as the frontrunners. Polls show Rousseff retains a slight edge in the first round of voting set for October 5th. In response to the U.S. threat of military action in Iraq and Syria, Al-Qaeda has urged militant groups to put their differences aside and unite. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb made a rare joint plea to jihadist organizations. The groups urged militant fighters and their supporters to, quote, stop the campaigns of mutual slander and unite against the U.S. and its alliance, end quote. The call for unity marks a dramatic shift from when Al-Qaeda distanced itself from the Islamic State. In February, Al-Qaeda insisted that the Islamic State was not a branch of Al-Qaeda. Israeli media reports that rockets have been fired from Gaza, which would constitute a violation of the long-term ceasefire agreement. It comes following several allegations of Israeli violations of the truce, although those claims were not reported by Israeli media. For more, here's our correspondent in Gaza, Noor Harazin.
For the first time since Israel and the Palestinians signed the month-long truce agreement, the month-long ceasefire, a violation from the Palestinian side was reported. The Israeli media said that a mortar shell was fired from the northern areas of Gaza towards Israel, close to Erez crossing between Palestine and Israel. However, this report made the Palestinians on the ground and also the Palestinian officials angry because most of the Israeli violations in the past 2 weeks were not reported, not on the Israeli media or most of the Western medias. In the past 2 weeks, Israel violated the truce something like 7 to 8 times. They arrested 6 Palestinian fishermen. They opened fire towards Palestinian fishermen of the coast of Gaza and Rafah city. Also, the Israeli tanks incursioned in some areas in eastern Gaza and eastern Khan Yunis. At the same time, the good news is that today, in a statement, the Palestinian embassy in Italy said that more Palestinian migrants are being rescued from the boat that drowned, the boats that are drowning, basically, because they said that there's many boats having these accidents. They said that around 1,600 Palestinians arrived to the shores of Malta and Italy. However, until now, we cannot get a specific number on the people who drowned and died in these incidents.
Thanks to Noor. Protests in Kiev continued Wednesday as right-wing activists protested Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko's decision to grant temporary autonomy to the eastern Donetsk and Lugansk regions. The protesters included activists from the Right Sector, Automaidan, and Freedom Party. On Tuesday, the rally turned violent after activists threw MP Vitaly Zhuravsky into a garbage container. Earlier this week, Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko signed an agreement strengthening ties between Ukraine and the European Union. As always, we have plenty more on those stories and many others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For teleSUR English, I'm Cody Weddle.